Blockchain Bernie here, broadcasting live from fabulous Las Vegas, and this episode is about VNodes versus pNodes. VNodes versus pNodes, right? All right, so by the way, that's a little bit off topic. This is a tungsten cube, right? So if you don't know what a tungsten cube is and what's the matter with it and why it was a big trend a few years ago, just Google it. All right, so VNodes versus pNodes, we have actually updated our Xandeum website, right? So here it is, the Xandeum website. And for those of you who don't know, we're building a scalable storage layer for the Solana chain, and we couldn't be more excited about it. So here's the Xandeum website, and you see front and center, the very first thing, the future of blockchain, and then we have VNodes versus pNodes, right? So let me explain here. The VNodes, those are the validator nodes, right? And I'm talking about the Xandeum chain here, which is a fork of the Solana chain, right? So we're using the Solana code base and adding a scalable storage layer. And the plan is to run that in the Solana blockchain. So we're in tight communication with so many people from the Solana ecosystem to get this whole thing integrated into the Solana world and adding that scalable storage layer, right? So that'd be just awesome. And then how does this look like? We have the validator nodes, the VNodes, and we have the provider nodes. So provider nodes, we're a storage chain, so those are the storage providers, right? But we just call them pNodes just to be concise here. And the VNodes are the validator nodes. So the VNodes are similar to a Solana validator, but they also have oversight over the pNodes. So they kind of monitor and control the pNodes, and the validators offload the storage to the pNodes, right? So here's how it works. The VNodes, they will have what we call the PNDB. That's the pNode database. This pNode database is going to be stored in Solana accounts, right? And it stores all the metadata about the pNodes, what pNodes are registered to the system. By the way, it's going to be all permissionless and trustless, right? And the VNodes, the validators, right? And by the way, if you're an early Xandeum backer and you bought one of our nodes, like a platinum node or a founders nodes, those are all VNodes, right? The platinum nodes and the founders nodes, they're both for validators. They are not provider nodes, right? We didn't even think of provider nodes when we sold the platinum nodes and the founder nodes. Platinum nodes, founders nodes, VNodes, validator nodes, right? Those are the larger nodes. They need a lot of power, and this thing is like crazy heavy, right? It looks so small, but it's, you know, it's solid tungsten, which we call also wolfram, and it is super heavy, right? So these are the validator nodes, and these are the here they are, the pNodes, right? The pNodes store the data. They store the data in pages, so we split the data into pages, store them on the pNodes, and the validator nodes send them challenges, cryptographic challenges, to make sure they store what they're supposed to store. We're logging back Merkle proofs so that we know that the data is actually there. We do wrapper transactions so that the validator nodes that are not Xandeum nodes, just pure vanilla Solana validator nodes, so that they can validate these transactions. So that's all a lot of technical stuff that we're building there. But you should understand we have two types of nodes, those VNodes and the pNodes, right? And then you see some information. What do? They do the block creation, consensus building, data storage, all these kind of stuff. You can still purchase a node license for a validator node. Before we go live into mainnet, you can buy a license to run that node. And what will that license do? It will basically give you the right to mint 50 Xan tokens each and every day. even before we go live. It will also give you the right to run a validator node in our DevNet. So it's really great stuff, and it's the best way if you think of, you know, supporting us and working with us and getting in there early. That's the best way to do it. And by the way, buying a validator node will give you 1 million points in our points app, right? So, and for the pNodes, they will go on sale soon. And the sale just means the sale is for earning the real tokens already in the DevNet before we go live on mainnet, right? Once we're there on mainnet, it's all trustless, open source, permissionless, so anyone can join the network, right? So these things just help us build out everything, and you will get those tokens, and you know, you will get the points, and there might be some airdrops and stuff like that. So it always pays to be in there early, to understand what's going on early. And yeah, you have these options here, and I wanted you to understand what's the difference between those VNodes and pNodes, right? And we also have the quick explanation here, what the Xandeum scalable storage layer is. So we have that all here. And yeah, if you have, so that was here. Sorry, I forgot to switch. So here we go. And then we have the description of the Xandeum storage layer here. Yeah, so that was my little intro, but I have one more thing for you, a little task for you until next time. But before I dive into that, don't forget to smash that like button. It is super important. I'm really thankful for that. And also leave me a comment. And I'd have to say the amount of comments has really picked up. And you get points also for commenting and for liking that video. You can use these points in potential later airdrops and stuff like that. So, and the amount of comments really has picked up, and it's all great comments, right? It's not like some spam stuff or some, you know, buy my token or join our Bitcoin group or stuff like that. And it's also, you know, some of them are just like great info, and I appreciate these comments also. But there are a lot of really great comments where I can engage with you and you ask great questions and stuff like that. It's become, you know, so much that I'm, you know, not really able to respond to each of them quickly, but I promise I'll respond in person, and I've done that so far. So if you see a response to your comment from me, it's gonna be me, right? And it was me, right? So I don't let my team answer my comments on YouTube yet. So all the answers you see there, they're my real answers. But the last thing, the last task, and that's again off topic, right? Because I just used this tungsten cube here to symbolize the VNodes, right? The VNodes are more like heavyweights, and the pNodes run on smaller hardware, right? The pNodes just need a lot of storage, but not a lot of RAM, not a lot of CPU, right? So with this tungsten cube, I think this is 2" by 2" by 2", this cube here. And tungsten is way heavier than lead. So if you would imagine this thing made of lead, it would already be heavy, but in tungsten, it's even heavier, right? There's one metal that is even heavier than tungsten, and that's platinum, right? So if you would, and I don't have a platinum cube here. I would love to have one even heavier than this one, but you know, platinum is crazy expensive. So if some of you wants to do the math, this is 2" by 2" by 2" in platinum, right? And then you can look up the price of platinum in global markets per ounce, right? It's like, yeah. And then figure out what would be just the material price, right? Not with production or anything like that, just the raw material that you would need for such a cube made out of platinum. Let me know how much that is. I'm really curious. I haven't done the math, but let me know down in the comments. I'm super curious. That's my little task for you. It's off topic, but you know, I just want to know how much it would have been, right? I'm sure I don't want to afford that, right? But I'm curious. Alrighty, so for today, hope you enjoyed this info about vNodes and pNodes, and catch you